Some of these universities or institutions do not follow those instructions, and when it comes to light, and obviously it gets publicized, and it is more to do with the institutions, not to do with the NAAC. Have an obligation to fulfill certain requirements when they get accredited, and if they don't, then they have to face the music.
Is it the NAAC looking at aligning with the NEP 2020?
We have an opportunity to start incorporating those expectations of NEP 2020 in the new frameworks that are likely to come. If they want to upgrade to A or A+, and they need to fulfill certain requirements, process requirements and outcome requirements. It is a question of the institutional readiness rather than NAAC trying to change the manuals or frameworks.
Hello all, as a part of our 14th edition of ThinkEdu 2026, so we have NAAC Director Ganesan Kannabiran, who is a Senior Professor at NIT Tiruchirappalli. Welcome sir. The biggest misconception regarding the NAAC accreditation that is there in the market. So what is your take on it sir?
Actually, I don't consider that as a misconception. We do our work.
Yeah.
We accredit institutions based on the data that they provide and the processes that we have. And we also have certain pre-accreditation requirements and post-accreditation requirements. And we expect the institutions to follow. In certain cases, some of these universities or institutions do not follow those instructions. And when it comes to light, and obviously it gets publicized, and it is more to do with the institutions, not to do with the NAAC. I won't consider that as a challenge or issue with the NAAC. I think the institutions have an obligation to fulfill certain requirements when they get accredited. And if they don't, then they have to face the music.
National Education Policy 2020 is actually from last 5 years working on, and most the primary schools and higher education, even HEIs are also revising their entire guidelines, including the recent UGC thing. So is it the NAAC looking at aligning with the NEP 2020?
Absolutely, absolutely. So a lot of institutions have started implementing NEP in the last 5 years. So therefore, we have an opportunity to start incorporating those expectations of NEP 2020 in the new frameworks that are likely to come. And both in the basic accreditation framework as well as the maturity-based accreditation framework, we are looking at almost all the aspects that are covered in NEP 2020 being incorporated in our manual. Therefore, we will see the institutions which are getting accredited in the time to come must have fulfilled the requirements of NEP 2020.
Do you think the infrastructure actually plays a key role in the NAAC? Because there are some couple of institutions in the rural areas and tier 2 sections where they actually struggle because lack of funds or lack of other facilities. Do you really give a little bit of easy going for those kind of institutions?
Yeah. Actually, there are two things. One is the institutions having resources to design, deliver academic programs, research, and so on. And the funds or the resources have to be provided by the government or the promoters of the institutions. But it comes to accreditation, and they face problems. So in the new frameworks, we are doing 2-3 things. One, we are looking at making it in regional languages, making the manuals very simple, easily understandable. And we are also looking at providing sort of a technology interface in their own languages, the way they can understand. And the last is very important, that for all rural and remote location institutions, we are going to provide a mentorship scheme through which the institution get free mentorship for the preparation and submission of data for NAAC processes.
And also NAAC is looking at the artificial intelligence where we can exactly...
Absolutely, there are many ways that we are looking at it. One is to validate the data when it's captured at source. Then we are further validating the data. We are using AI-based techniques, both in terms of analyzing the data accurately as well as doing it faster. And the third is we are also looking at what is called stakeholder crowdsourcing, where we will, after all, the stakeholders have to say whether they got value out of the institution or not. So therefore, we are looking at their also use of AI in a big way, and we are already talking to some
Yeah.
partners to develop technologies.
I mean, most of the institutions actually struggle for upgrading their accreditation. So, for those kind of institutions, what you can suggest?
They need to meet certain requirements.
Yes.
Let's say in the old system, somebody was accredited B++,
Yes.
and if they want to upgrade to A or A plus, and they need to fulfill certain requirements, process requirements and outcome requirements. As long as they fulfill, and they have an opportunity to move, it is a question of the institutional readiness rather than NAAC trying to change the manuals or frameworks.
These are valuable to our readers, apart from your exclusive session on ThinkEdu. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
having on
Thank you.
ThinkEdu.
Thank you.
Thanks.